everyone. Very happy to be here today to share some of my learning from applying UA from gaming to food delivery. So my name is Anh. I'm currently the head of user acquisitions in Vote. And Vote is a food delivery company, for some of you who may not know. And I have been in the gaming scene for several years. And starting from January this year, I moved to heading up the UA team in Vote. So being in both sides, gaming and non-gaming, there when doing UA, there's still some realizations and learning that I want to share today. So maybe let's get first start. So who am I? So I have, so like I mentioned, that my background is actually very much from the gaming side. So I was in Rovio and Wargaming for several years, building up the foundations for UA, running several games, all of the Angry Birds and World of War franchise that I have been working with. With end of last year, I took a step outside of gaming. It's been a bit harsh because I've been in gaming for a while, and thinking about, okay, what is the doing UA outside of gaming, and what is the biggest difference? Assuming that gaming is very much advanced on doing UA, and here is something that I want to share with us. So. Few words about Vote. So for some of you who may not know, we are a food delivery platform. So if you think about Uber Eats, you think about Deliveroo, we are offering a similar service in some of the countries that we are overlapping, and some of them we aren't. So our apps and websites is actually very much modern design. We focusing on bringing the food via the courier to the customer. And few of the numbers that I want to share with you today. So the company actually a Finnish company. We are based in Finland. We started in 2014 as a company. Currently we are about 700 people globally and in 19 different countries. So majority of them are in Europe. Our app is actually being loved by the people. Our current App Store rating is 4.8. Which is quite high. Coming from the gaming side, for me, this is, when you think about the physical operation, this is a very good rating. And we also have like some praise from the investor. So we have the 160 million investment started in June this year to fuel the growth and the expansions. So let's go to the topic. So like I mentioned, I've been saying that I've been in gaming for a while. I have a lot of experience on gaming. When I moved to food delivery, I have a lot of perceptions on, okay, how things is going to be when I move to non-gaming side, how UA is going to be. And I always take a step back as a UA person. I always think about 5 different things when I plan to do UA. Product, team setup, tech setup, the channel selections, the targeting, and the creative. And that's kind of like the first 5 things that I have my perception before I join gaming, and then what happened when I'm in the food deliveries. And I want to share with you today about the first one, which is about product business model. So all of us are knowing that gaming, the business model for gaming is purely digital. We're offering an in-app purchase, we're offering in-app advertising. The service is quite simple. You're hunting for whales, you're hunting for payers. If the user want to spend money in your game, it's actually quite simple. You print more offer, you print more booster, you give them more lives. So the service can scale along. I can bring as many users as I want. When it goes to non-gaming or food delivery service, so as for Vote, we are offering a digital platform where we're connecting the user, the restaurant, and the couriers. To bring the best experience, to bring the food to the end user. So what happened here is that we have a digital platform where we actually be able to connecting all of the 3 triangle corner in here. However, we have a physical operations. So as a UA team, the dream that I have is that, okay, we have a higher conversion in non-gaming, in food delivery. The problem is that if I bring too many users in a certain area, let's say in Friedrichshain in Berlin, if Vote doesn't have enough supply, they don't have enough restaurants, they don't have enough couriers, we're also in trouble. So the balance between supply and demand is also one of the biggest realizations that I have when moving from gaming to non-gaming. Our team is also take care of the career acquisition, so we can kind of influence on the demand side on this way. So product size, digital and physical operation. Physical operation is actually one of the biggest challenge for me and for the team to actually operating UA. For team setup, and this is something that I have to give some sort of spoiling alert, that I take a lot of learning from gaming side. So before I go to here, I talk a lot with people from e-commerce, from non-gaming apps. A lot of people are organizing the team based on the skill. So you have a team with Facebook, you have a team with Google. I turned the structure actually upside down. So we build the foundations on having a data scientist in the team. We have to build like the one who actually take care of the analytic attribution, building the LTV model. We have a 2 designer in the team, 1 graphic designer, 1 video designer, who actually supporting all of the operation. We have almost 20 countries, and then we only have 4 media buyers. So the operation seems very heavy when it sounds, but because we build like a very good foundations, what happened for the person that we hire as the UA specialist here is that they're going to take care of the ownership of the country. So coming from the gaming side, when I always think about one game is one product. In here we have 19 different products. Every country have a different retention. Every country have a different conversion. Every country have a different cost. So the person who take care of the country actually have to think in a different way. So turning this structure to food delivery, the person from our team can actually running all of the paid channel. They're working with the local country team, consulting on the activities, actually knowing what's happening in the country. They're analyzing, they share the learning, they're optimizing the content. They're also running career acquisitions. So actually the work required seems to be a lot. But when you have a good system, like you don't even have to go in every day, like, okay, where is the number correct? Do I get enough content? Everything is actually coming to you. So your job is just, okay, today I look at the number, I look at this country. I know that the channel, this campaign on Facebook, on Google is actually going down. I look at that, make changes. It doesn't need to go like very complicated. So the system is actually supported, and one person from our team can take care of 5 countries. So this is the structure that we do. And as you may see, it's very much similar to gaming. So this is one of the learning that I apply. The next thing is about the channel selection. So channel selections in here, when it comes to gaming side, I used to work with 30 different channels for one game when I used to work with, which is a lot of work. In food delivery, that was my first perception. I wanted to test some ad networks. It's actually very much challenging than I thought it would be. So the main focus for us when I joined for the last 11 months or 12 months has been trying to scale the channels that have their own inventory. When I say own inventory, I consider Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Twitter. We did test Unity. However, the performance is actually not as good. I think the behavior of the user is a bit challenging here, so that's why we focus more and we'll be able to scale our budget a lot. One of the criteria for choosing this is a hyperlocal targeting. And as I mentioned on the product side, it's a physical operation here. So when you talk about gaming, you talk about global appearance. In here, when we choose the channel, we have to think, is the channel actually support when I want to target a certain area within the cities? Do they support the catalog and product feed? And that's something not every channel is actually support. So this is where we come back to on some of the channels in here, web and app media buying. Full funnel marketing approach. So our team can do like online branding. We do retargeting for the people who have interact with the video, and then after that do the whole funnel to get to the conversion. So channel selection, food delivery, much less than gaming, not that many. Seems like it's easier to work with, actually not. Well, because of the next thing in here, targeting. So when I was in gaming side, Facebook and Google introducing AEO, VO, ROAS bidding. Every one of us who running campaigns here understanding that the bigger the audience, the better to optimize. You're running one-wide campaigns, you're running AEO, you're running VO, you're running ROAS bidding. The formula for success is actually quite easy. Well, for me, when I apply the same, it doesn't work. So The problem for us is that our hyperlocal targeting is very intense. So even in the city that we operate in, we not actually deliver in the whole city. So at first, let's say if we go to a city in Germany, let's say Cologne, we're probably going to like a central area first. And then later on, after a few months, we onboarding more restaurant, we onboarding more courier, and that's when we actually start scaling the service. So our targeting have to adapt. So more postcode targeting, radius targeting, polygons. It's make the work a bit hard because you actually think that our target or our audience is actually swing to be very small, which means that, well, it's an enemy for any UA person because the smaller the audience size, the more expensive the cost. Which means that we need to optimizing way more than normal. We're optimizing the audience, we're optimizing the content because the content is actually being exposing for the same user much quicker than when it was in gaming. So the last one that I want to mention, which relates to the previous point, is about the content. So the creative here require on gaming, my experience that is pretty simple. It's instructional. Recently, I actually came across that there's a lot of fake ads on the market. Interesting. Even though I've been away for only 12 months, it's a lot of things happening. Video and playable are pretty much dominating. When it comes to food delivery, image is actually not that big in gaming per se. In food delivery, we actually see that image doing really well. So image and video are pretty good. We're organizing the creative content that we actually be able to produce in 2 to 4 contents every single week because we know that the content being saturated really fast. And that's one of the reasons why we focus on the global concept, local concept, and then the restaurant food. I want to show you some of the example here on the contents that we have. So it's balanced a lot between the brand and the direct response. So we have the brand feeling like pretty dominant. Of course, I have to work a lot with the brand team and not to make sure that, okay, guys, you can't show the logo for longer than 3 seconds. If you believe that your logo is so cool to be shown for 3 seconds, we lose the conversion. So that's kind of like the trade-off that we had to do. Okay. Great. Then let's do a recap. Okay, 5 things today. What is my realization? Products, business model. Gaming side, what I believe is purely digital. So much easier to do. Of course, there's still so much complex when you actually go really deep into it. Our food delivery service is more digital plus the physical operation, which brings the challenge. The team setup and the tech setup is very much similar to my experience from gaming, and this is something that I've been mentioning a lot. The channel selection, we going in less amount of channels. We go more into the own inventory channel, which is we have been seeing like a lot of success. Targeting and optimizations. Worldwide targeting in gaming size, hyper-local targeting in food delivery side. Again, smaller the audience, it's more expensive. Creative, we have a much broader creative approach than in gaming, testing like different kind of more brand-ish approach to more instructional and direct response approach. We normally go with a hybrid model where we have both, and this is something that I've been seeing that is doing really well. I think that's the last one for, that's the last slide for today. I'm going to be around, so thank you very much for listening, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or be here. Thanks.